a traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping that you were able to do so earlier when we have the Honorable Tourism Minister on, but now it's the opportunity to quick chat with our good friends from the Youth Services Unit, and then some open line 12:30 onwards. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. And as we start off with our friends over at the Youth Services Unit, Ms. Camille, how are you?
Thank you. I'm very well, sir. And I'm really excited because we have just launched a really big initiative that happens every year where we get to recognize amazing young people in our community. So that has me really excited today.
And that's so crucial, right? That in our society, I mean, globally, in any society, but in particular this one, for us to recognize the young people, whether we are driving along, we've seen their faces on their billboards, and we go, oh, I coached him, I taught him, oh, he belongs to so-and-so, oh, and they're familiar and new faces as well. Mm-hmm. The more that we are able to positively, identify them, recognize them, encourage them, the stronger and better our society will be. So, yes. Proud of them?
Yes, our Proud of Them youth campaign. We have just launched our nomination period, which is really exciting for us. Last year, we had about 100 nominations of youth in our community who have been excelling in different categories that we award on, which include academics. There are 6 academics, community service, culture, sports, and career and business. So career is more geared towards those who are in their career, they're working a job right now, and business is related to entrepreneurial pursuits, entrepreneurship. So those are the categories that we are awarding youth in, and it's usually it's a great process for us to learn lots about what young people are doing in our community. That's really pushing forward positive social changes. And we really want to encourage the community to go online and to please nominate young people that you see are doing really great things. It's young Caymanians aged 10 to 25 years old. And as I mentioned, there are 6 awarding categories, so you can nominate a youth for up to 2 categories. So if you think that they've excelled in academics and sports, then nominate them in both. If you think that they've excelled the most in culture, and that's where you think most of the recognition needs to be made for that young person, then just 1 category will do. And it's a very simple process for you to nominate, and then for follow-up to occur so that we get more documents from that young person who has been nominated, so we can share that as proof with the selection committee that they're able to see, hey, this is the impact this young person has made in culture or in sports or whatever awarding category it is. And this awards program has been in existence for 11 years. So as you mentioned earlier, a lot of people would be familiar with Proud of Them because of the billboards on the side of the road. You'll notice that last year we rebranded and the colors are orange and a vibrant plum color, just to catch attention and to let everyone, see that these young people are doing really great things. And for us to have these in such public places and throughout the districts in Grand Cayman, and there's also billboards in Cayman Brac near district admin area, it's really a great opportunity for us to highlight that no matter where you go, no matter what district, no matter where you turn, there is a young person who has been doing great things to make the community better, and they've all been doing that in different ways.
Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes away from the desk and just coming and reminding us that we can nominate as many as we want, either one, but no more than 2 of the 6 categories. And whether we're teacher, whether we're a parent, whether we're uncle,
or yourself, self-nominations are also allowed. You can go ahead if you think there's, an area that you have really excelled in and you want to take the reins by submitting that. So our process is a 2-step process. The nominator will go in and they'll complete a short form and basically give us a 500-word testimonial about what this young person has been doing, why you nominated them in the categories that you did. And then that young person, you would get an auto email as a nominator stating that, thank you, we've received your nomination, and we're also notifying the nominee. Okay. So any email you've provided for that nominee, or it could even be their parent, because as I said, the age is 10 to 25 years old. So if you're under 18, you put your parents' contact details so that we can be in touch and learn more about what you're doing. So the parent, the nominee, they get an email then prompting them to submit more documents. So let us know about the impact you made in this category. Let us know if you have any awards that you've already received in this area or ways that you've been recognized. And let us know why you think you should be recognized and what you can give back as a Proud of Them honoree. So that's really important that we keep building on these systems of recognition and also ownership in our young people so that, they have a sense of ownership that they contribute to what is the best about our community. And so we hope those awarding categories especially will reflect it, because it's sports, culture, community service, it's business, career, academics. It's those areas that we know they have been making a lot of contributions. But again, we want to encourage the public. If you know a young person, don't wait for someone else to nominate them. It doesn't matter if you and I both nominate Jane, and it doesn't matter if 3 people might nominate Jane, as long as we make sure that someone is saying, Jane is doing a really great job. Can you please review her nomination? So that is really important to us, to give everyone a sense that if you see this, please stand behind them and encourage them by submitting a nomination. Or if you feel like you can represent yourself, what you've been doing, go ahead and let us know as well, because all of us know there's no silent wins. We want to make sure they're acknowledged.
Ms. Camille, I really appreciate you sharing that, because I can just think it doesn't matter, who is selected at the end of the day. Sometimes that person being nominated, that young person, is then reminded that someone's nurturing, someone is loving, someone is caring, someone has recognized, and you are, valued and appreciated. And that might just be that thing that keeps them going, maybe the thing that motivates them to get up and go more, as it were.
We've seen those nominations coming in. They come in from youth leaders, they come in from coaches, they come in from aunties, uncles, they come in from mom and dad as well. They come in from the nominee themselves. So there's lots of ways that we can make sure that we raise our voice about the good things that young people are doing in our community. And the great thing about this award is that it just doesn't end at an award. You're a part of a group right now. I think there's over 120 honorees over the past 11 years. And of course, we're steadily growing with those numbers. Last year, to celebrate the 10 years of Proud of Them, we had our 15 honorees that were recognized, but we also recognized 2 rising stars who were also to be commended on what they had done and their progress and what they had achieved. So that is a way that the program has been steadily growing. So we do want to encourage you to submit your nominations. And like I said, it's a very straightforward process. We have been working to streamline the user experience on our online form. So if there's any questions you have or, anything you notice that we can even improve on, build on in years to come, please feel free to let us know. It is info.ysu@gov.ky. And we are encouraging you, fill out the form that is at www.youthservices.ky/proud of them. So if you even search for Cayman Islands Youth Services Unit, you'll find our webpage. You'll also see that the government Instagram channel and I think also LinkedIn as well, there has been a reshare of that information. So it's more readily accessible to the public. You can see, and it includes the link as well. So that is just about us making it more accessible. It's on our Youth Services Unit Instagram, which you can follow us as well to stay informed about the process. And that's at Cayman Youth on Instagram, at Cayman Youth. And also our ministry that we fall under is the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage. So you can follow them to just stay informed of the process, and you'll see press releases coming out so that the public can be informed. And it's just a really special initiative. It's very close to our heart at the Youth Services Unit. And it's always difficult every year because there's so many nominations and it's hard to pick 15 young people. It's not a choice that's coming from us. There is a selection committee for the Proud of Them Youth Awards. And so it makes our job easier, but it's still it's a very involved process to see all of these people submitting nominations and knowing that there's so many ways that young people contribute. And I do want to encourage people, even if you might have submitted nominations in the past and you weren't successful, maybe that young person has achieved new awards and maybe they have achieved new accolades, maybe they've done new training, maybe they've done new projects, initiatives, things that have benefited the community. Things don't stay the same from year to year. So just encouraging you, if you want to submit and have them recognized, don't be deterred to submit again because it's very competitive and we have some really great honorees. I would encourage the public, if you're interested in seeing past honorees, visit our website again where the form is at www.youthservices.ky/proud of them. You'll see a tab for honorees. You can go back and read their biographies and see what they've done, and highly likely that some of those faces on the billboards this past year.
If you don't, you'll get to know them. And it's gonna be, I really appreciate you coming across. I know there's a lot going on at the Youth Services Unit, not just dealing every weekend, but all the programming. We're going to have much conversation with you and your team over the next couple of weeks, especially. But as we close out the discussion, a reminder, we can nominate as many as we want, whether we're a parent or a self-nominee or like, but remind us again once more. And then
yes, please do. So as I said, it's a really simple process. You as a nominator will only be asked to give us some details, some information, contact details for the nominee, specifically the email address, and make sure you let us know in 500 words or less why this young person deserves to be nominated. So that's your role as a nominator. And then afterwards, they'll receive an email asking them if they can submit more documents to support your nomination, to show us more about who they are as a person, what they're doing, how they're contributing. So please, just to note that the nomination period ends on the 6th of September. We are open, so you can visit us on Instagram at Cayman Youth. You can visit our website as well at youthservices.ky/proud of them. So when you visit our webpage, or even if you want to Google us, Cayman Islands Youth Services Unit, you will definitely see the signs pointing towards the Proud of Them nomination page. And I'm sure you'll be seeing social media graphics being circulated around in the next week and within this weekend. We really encourage you to submit your nomination as soon as possible. Don't have any hesitations, because it's a very simple process. And as you said, Mr. Sterling, you really don't know how much of a huge impact that could have on a young person who maybe didn't know that they had so many people behind them, supporting them, cheering them on, wanting them to be recognized at a national level. And it's a great award. There's an opportunity to be featured in the public relations campaign. You would have a video, your biography will be shared, you'll have your billboard, and also there is a monetary award of $1,000 for the honorees. So we really want to encourage young people to keep up their good acts and keep doing things that benefit the community. And so this is a very well-rounded program to be able to show that support in many different ways. And it really starts from the community level. So again, just encouraging you, before the 6th of September, visit our website, www.youthservices.ky, and then /proud of them. And go ahead, submit your nomination. If you have any questions, you can email us at info.ysu@gov.ky, or you can call us 943-1127. So there's lots of ways to get in touch, and don't delay. That young person could benefit a lot from your kind words.
Well, I appreciate you coming and reminding us, and it's now an opportunity to officially start the nomination. So thanks. And we have until the 6th of September.
6th of September.
All right, looking forward to having you and your team on over the next few weeks, reminding us, and to the nominees, out there. Hey, let's nominate the many to choose from. Have a wonderful rest of the day and a blessed weekend, Ms. Camille.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to pause, and when we come back, open line for the remainder and some interesting calls, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion, and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments August 15th to the 20th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thank you for joining us. It will be open line and we're going to have an opportunity to share with you. But as Ms. Camille Angel over at the Youth Services Unit just reminded us, the nominations for the Proud of Them campaign now is officially open. So please nominate as many young people as you choose, whether you're a teacher, parent, whether you're a coach, a youth worker, you're the neighbor, nominate one person up to a maximum of 2 categories. You can nominate, or just one if you choose, and you can choose to nominate countless young people. There are many, thank God, there are many wonderful young people in this community. I can only imagine the teacher or the coach, for example, sitting down and saying, okay, if I got to narrow this down, well, you can nominate as many as you will allow yourself time, to send in that nomination. And the process is not that daunting as Ms. Camille shared. So as a parent, you want to nominate your child, your grandchild, you want to nominate the child of, one of your co-workers, go right ahead. Let's recognize those young people and leave, the selection committee with the incredible task that they have every year of trying to select and narrow it down, because there's so many wonderful young people. Well, it's open line. 8949-8037, 8949-6990, or toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. You can also WhatsApp call, WhatsApp message, voice note, as you so choose. But on that, it's 925-3261. Grateful that Stuart was able to take a leave and enjoy himself, safely return to us, and trust in his morning show. God's willing, Monday I'll be back. But from that discussion, as it can and oftentimes will do, it goes beyond one show to the next. It moves into the community when we see people as we go about our daily lives. And the Honorable Tourism Minister was on earlier. We're talking about a number of things as he referenced. Just a quick reminder on his behalf, on the 12th of September, that Thursday afternoon, 5 p.m., the groundbreaking for the Scranton Park, community park. It's going to be amazing. I think the opportunity to bring together a community and, by extension, the wider country. As he shared, it's right in central, it's in the capital, it's accessible to the government buildings, but it gives the community a space, from the youth center to the seniors. It's important. We know what accessible, safe public spaces mean to any community, and probably even some of us can think of spaces in other countries that we've gone to. Wide open green spaces, perhaps they're not only culturally significant but have historical significance as well. That's on that part on the 12th September, 5 p.m. But he also was talking about the cruise port referendum. Now, some of you may have a thought. Many questions have come in since the discussion. So if you want to maybe ask, clarify, you may want to just put forward your view. Hey, let's do so. But it's open line, and you can talk about anything else that you so choose. From yesterday's discussion here and Talk Today, a couple of people were asking about the operation of banks in our communities, and to what extent we are being properly regulated from not just their business operations, but the fees that they're allowed to charge. we know that the parliamentarians have sponsored legislation or motions, I should say, to consider, how banks charge fees and the like. Well, these are discussions that are informed many times as a result of the public's, sort of interactions and consequences of actions that help the parliamentarians to realize what needs to happen. But sometimes, as some have alleged, it's just something to pacify and placate others, not necessarily anything. It's just an attempt to rectify. But many times we hear, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So as we continue to advocate, champion the things that we think are important, the more those things might gain traction and gain attention. So 949-8037, 949-6990, or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Then you can WhatsApp call 925-32621 and share your thoughts with us as well. I would like, though, if you have time, following a suggestion from one of our listeners from this morning, is there a way to do an informal sort of straw poll from people knowing that a referendum is coming? Are they in favor, of a cruise port? Is it that they are, but maybe a yes or no, as one of the listeners earlier shared, isn't just as simple as that? Well, maybe it is. All right. Do we need to take that break, sir? And once we come back from this, hey, give us a shout, share your thoughts with us as we invite you to be a part of this open line segment. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, Mom and Dad. School is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all your child's stationery supplies. You won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336. Savannah Pharmacy supports your education in our small community. That's why the first 20 customers will receive a free fully stocked school bag. Savannah Pharmacy. We love our community.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. It's an open line here on Talk Today, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call at 925-32621. But we invite you to use the Flow toll-free line, 1-800-534-TALK. That's 1-800-534-8255. A quick message during the break from a listener that was asking if we're going to have a referendum on the cruise port. Could we ask other questions? Does it have to be just one question? And if it's going to be a yes or no, could other questions be on? Then responded to the person and say, okay, well, if there were other questions, what other questions would you want? And so far, the one response was, well, should we put in a question on casino gambling? Now I've messaged back to say, well, how would you word that question? And the reason is that, as many of you know, how a question is asked sometimes could perhaps influence, even inadvertently and unconsciously, the person's mindset. So, what do you think? Is my first question. What do you think about the idea of having more than one question on any referendum, but in this one in particular? Should we add other questions, to that referendum, so as we go and ask people their opinions, we're not just asking for one, or about one thing. And then secondly, if you say yes, well, what other things? I just suggested the one from that caller who says, well, what about gambling? Casino gambling. We've known other people have asked, well, what about, a question on legalizing or decriminalizing, the use of certain drugs. By extension, some people would probably say, well, why not, enumerate other drugs as well? Again, a good question. Let's go to the phones though on the WhatsApp. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you today? Hey, thanks for good man. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, pretty good today.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good day. It is a good day. All right, I'm listening to you, and I want to respond to this message and see the part. But as you talk, I'm going to both pay attention and make notes. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and thanks so much again for sharing.
Yes, sir. Well, I was listening this morning, to the show with you and Mr. Ken.
Thanks.
Honestly, I was planning on calling, but I say, I think I leave that for the afternoon because I will dealing with my breakfast and thing. I prefer to. I enjoy the topic though, but one thing that kind of bothers me is why is it okay to decriminalize marijuana but not legalize?
I don't know. Is it okay? I mean, I want your view on that, but I also want you, if you are able and willing to share what you understand to be the difference between legalizing it and decriminalizing.
Well, with the decriminalization part, from what I see with Jamaica, it makes no sense. Although for them it makes sense because they basically accept bare minimum. But I think that would be a big problem here in Cayman for me, because then they'll know exactly who to check. They'll know exactly who they can bother. They know exactly who they can trouble. Really and truly, if they decriminalize marijuana, they'll have so much more rules than they have right now. Because, like I've already stated a few times, that Cayman is illegal in Cayman, but there's no authority. There really no without authority, they're just like literally illegal, but there's no enforcement. I don't see any enforcement. So unless you're trying to sell it in else. So or import it. But here in Cayman, if we was to legalize it, that would be so much better. We could grow it. We can have a quantity that would be acceptable for the users. And then they have the distributors. From how I see it, right, sir? When it comes into the decriminalization, who knows marijuana better than the users? Because what the government know about marijuana? I would like to know, because so far they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. It has always been a taboo that marijuana was a problem because it made people free. It made people think a little bit easier. It made people calmer. They don't like that. If you don't have no problems, then I know there's no need for help. So the way how I see it, is that if they decriminalize marijuana, you'll have more knocks on the door than Quaker got oats. If you decriminalize marijuana, because they got to check and see how much you got, where you get it from. Is it legal? Is it illegal? I would like to know first, before they decriminalize, will they have the intention to legalize? First of all, because it don't make no sense to stuck in one situation and feel like, okay, yeah, we're going to be satisfied with that. I don't trust anybody, much less our government, right now at this moment. So until they decide that, the people want this, it don't make no sense to decriminalize it. It don't make no sense whatsoever. We must be allowed to grow our own thing because it's a plant. It's not a drug. It's a herb, just like mint, parsley, stever grass. These things, it serves a purpose. It's not a drug for, you want to take a trip, bro. Mr. Sterling, let me tell you my experience. If you think that marijuana gives you a psychedelic effect where you see rainbows in the sky, then that's your opinion. It doesn't do that. It's not a psychedelic drug like cocaine and heroin.
Yeah, and I hear many people would share that, it's a natural substance, a herb, a plant or grown like that. But I want to ask you, from what you shared, you are now of the view that legalizing it would be more sensible and beneficial than decriminalizing it.
Definitely.
Okay. And then I would ask, I know there's another call joining us, so I don't want you to feel rushed either, but I don't want the caller to be delayed. In your view, just quickly, the difference between legalize and decriminalize, you're comfortable that you understand clearly what the difference is between the two?
I know the difference, sir. But the thing is about it is how many people are going to understand it when it is decriminalized.
Right.
Because you're going to have people that acting like it is legal, like how they're doing it in Jamaica. They acting like it legal, but that give them ever more rights to go and be tyrants. The police going to go and enforcing, and they do it whatever they feel like because now it's legal for them to actually enforce certain things.
Yeah, as you're saying,
the
decriminalization doesn't mean that it's not legalization. There's two separate things. Okay. All right. I'll share that further on.
So that's from my perspective. And marijuana is no more different than chamomile tea.
Right. Well, we would see.
No more different.
Yeah. I'm not in a position to argue with you or from any, sort of experimental, but I hear you, man. All right. Let me take this other call.
Yes, sir.
And call back again if you wish. All right. All right. Let's take the other call for the break. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Hi. How are you?
I'm right here. Sterling, you want to know who will be on the ganja and the marijuana, whatever they call it? All the acid you see going on the road, that's giggling their head off and looking for something to eat. That's who we're going to know using it.
Right.
But Sterling, when you sit down and think of how far we has come for a tourist attraction island from practically day one. We had no telephones, no billboards, and so much more. That would draw the visitors to our island, right? I know time has changed a lot of things, but I always wonder why we got to do what the rest of the world is doing. Why? But there few will have an answer for that, and there few will be against it. So, Sterling, it's not everything that glitter is gold, and not everything that is good. You should talk about it. But Sterling, I just want to say that God help us all. God help us all. That's all I can say in regards to this ganja that they want, marijuana, whatever they call it, to legalize here in the Cayman Island. And I just hope that every government have enough common sense, not even think to even, it already here on island, and it being sneaked around, being sold and used and so forth. Just like the numbers. That's not legal in Cayman, but they're selling numbers on a daily basis and making all kind of big dollars. So they're not comfortable how they are with the ganja as it is now without being legalized. What about the other people who don't care for it? They cannot please everybody. And we should not be following every country. That is why we are overpopulated now. And that's why, because so many people coming here and doesn't even want to abide by our rules and regulations that we so have here, that the government is not putting no pressure on to an extent or to a degree, whatever the case may be. Darling, we tried to get the iguanas under control, and I feel that we did a pretty good job. Now we got the rabbits, the agouti, running wild in Newlands. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
So
well,
anything you plant now, they're out there trying to eat it up before you can even reap from it.
yeah.
So I just want to say, anybody there who can come and catch these agouti or rabbit or whatever the heck they call them, please come into the Newlands and ask neighbors if they could set traps in the yard and catch these. I got like 6 running back and forth in my yard from time to time, and my girlfriend up in the further back, she can't get nothing catch to eat. I bought her ginger, her turmeric, and other things that she's trying to plant in her yard. So we get rid of the iguanas. Now we got the rabbits that is becoming a nuisance in the neighborhood. And then they want ganja on top of that now. Oh, my God, what else do they want? You want to say something?
I was going to ask you, we have the news breakdown reminded that it's there, but do you wish to call back, hold on, or you want to...
I'll probably call back. And this morning, I hold on for almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, on behalf of the Honourable Minister, we did...
And he was concerned about taking as many calls as possible. Give me a break, please. But anyhow, no disrespect to nobody. But it is what it is. Because about time you had come to me, I was gonna say anything. I would just tell you all the time I held on for. And thanks and have a great day. That's all I was gonna say.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Bye.
Take care. And when we come back from the news break, it will be open line. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio station.
Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. At approximately 7:50 a.m. today, Cayman Airways Express flight KX4420, operated by a Twin Otter aircraft, encountered a bird strike shortly after takeoff from the Edward Bodden Airfield on Little Cayman. The flight was en route to the Charles Kirkconnell International Airport on the Brac. Although the bird strike was not noticeable during the flight, the pilots discovered evidence of it during their standard pre-flight safety inspection while awaiting their next departure from the Charles Kirkconnell International Airport. Passengers should expect delays as the aircraft is currently out of service. In regional news, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.3 rocked Jamaica earlier today, but there were no immediate reports of injuries or damage. The earthquake unit at the Mona campus of the University of West Indies said the quake, which occurred at 8:01 a.m. local time, had its epicenter approximately 6 kilometers northeast of Golden Spring in St. Andrews. The tremor was reportedly felt in the capital, Kingston, and St. Andrew, as well as other parishes including St. Catherine, St. James, Manchester, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. In other regional news, the St. Lucia government welcomed the latest figures from the Central Statistics Office, revealing the island's lowest unemployment rate in over 15 years. In the first quarter of this year, the unemployment rate stood at 11.4%, compared to 16.3% in the previous year, 16.15% in 2022. The government attributes the positive trend to policies supporting private sector expansion, job creation, and initiatives like the Youth Economy Agency and the MSME Loan Grant Facility. Additionally, targeted policies such as VAT amnesties, tax reform, and increased foreign direct investment continue to drive down unemployment and promote economic growth. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
It's one of the best moments of your life when you welcome your baby into the world. The HSA's experienced women's health and maternity team provides the highest quality of care throughout your pregnancy and delivery. As a JCI accredited hospital, we are the leader in maternal care, safely delivering over 700 babies annually. Visit hsa.ky for more information. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
In 1950, the controversial topic of mixing of racial demographic of the Cayman Islands was explored by Edwin Beale Doran using the census from 1802 to 1943, which distinguished between black, white, and colored segments of the Cayman Islands population. The trend observed by the cultural preferences of the three races identified that due to the strong feelings of white women only procreating with white men and colored women only procreating with colored or white men, that the natural population of blacks significantly decreased, the whites remained the same, and the colored population increased. In 1802, blacks outnumbered whites by 3 to 2. The colored population represented only 8% of the population, but by 1870, the three races were virtually equal. However, by 1911, the black population was reduced to a mere 20%, and by 1943, the colored population had reached 55%, with the Cayman Islands having proportionally fewer blacks than any other territory in the region.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And sometimes they say the squeaker wheel gets the oil, and sometimes we hear much being shared about empty vessels making the most noise. And as I listen to some things unfold, I wonder to what extent we are loving the tail to wag the dog. And I may just be inclined to share increasingly some of those thoughts as I look across the table to my good friend. It's not always the things that we keep quiet, that should stay quiet, but let's revisit that in a second as we invite you to not just read between the lines, but take up the mantle. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
And to you, sir. How are you today?
Man, I'm thankful.
I believe that's very evident. You always seem to have a very, very gracious spirit. So talk to me, man.
Mr. Sterling, I don't use any drugs,
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel a sense of sympathy to those who get locked up and prosecuted for using drugs. I mean, including tourists and Caymanians. I mean, I'm serious. I was saying on the radio a couple of weeks ago, to free Caymanians, and basically meaning that don't lock them up for using drugs. Come on now. You can give them a little counseling, or something, some other options. There are always different options, but I mean, I've been looking at that from the time I was a teenager, and that's been decades ago. We got to free somebody. Some politicians gonna do it, you know. Somebody gonna do it, but we don't know who it is yet. Somebody gonna put it into law and to free Caymanians and the other people, and not allow. So I don't know if that's what they're talking about when they say decriminalize, not to lock you up for using that. Because I mean, you know, sometimes I know people that take their little puff, you know, their little draw and stuff like that, and they, you know, I want to have fun, and I mean, not saying that I agree or disagree with it, you know. Or
Right. But as you shared, that there are people who do have strong views about it, right?
yeah.
So what is your view, if you can? I mean, do you have, well, if you wish to share, what's your view?
Mr. Sterling, I'll be honest with you. I've been coming across a lot of people, not to talk my business, but I came across a lot of people, including tourists, and I know a lot of people, plenty of people, and they ask the question, where, I don't want to go get into that, but what I'm saying is really, somebody want to take a little smoke. I don't think, to be honest, because, you know, the from generation to generation, you got smokers of this and smokers of that and all that. But I don't believe that they should lock them up for that. So if that's what they mean when they say decriminalize it, I guess, you know, if they can do that and free them, make them be free, and instead of having that over them, and then you go to court, and then you got to be, you know, like having that on your record, because it goes on your record, you know, and then it messes up your employment. Because, you know, when the employer asks a question on the application form, have you ever been convicted? Yes, sir. I only mind a situation with smoking weed or whatever it is.
Right.
You know, it messes you up with your job and all that kind of stuff. So
I hear you, man, and those are things that we may fail to appreciate the impact, right? If I might, and I want to read what someone shared, and I'll have permission to share it as it was, right? But if I may ask you, if you wish to answer, that's fine. But to your mind, do you feel that on a personal level, do you feel that you know, the difference sufficiently between what legalizing and decriminalizing means? You know. And
I'm not quite sure, but legalizing it's a tough one, and I think it makes it difficult.
Right.
For some people to decide upon it too, because not knowing more about it and all that kind of stuff.
And again, I don't want you to, and I don't put you on the spot, so I don't want you to get. And the second thing is that from the perspective of the education, the pros and cons, the impact, the use of any drug, but including, and I just start first with alcohol. Do you feel that from a consumer perspective, from a citizen's perspective, just as a person, that you have enough access to information or know enough about it? I'm going to ask about alcohol first. Just simply yes or no. Do you think you are aware, sufficiently informed about it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
And that's why I believe it's such a difficult thing for the people to be.
And what about let me cut you again, please. Sorry. What about ganja? I mean, do you feel that you have enough education on, you know, the use, the abuse, the impact, the positives, the negatives, just the education, just the awareness? Do you feel? You said no on alcohol. I mean, what would be your view on ganja? The same thing?
No. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge about it, because you see, it's some other things too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you, for example, if you're using, if you have, from a doctor's perspective, if you have medication that you take in and that sort of thing like that, and then you using these things, it can cause some different effects on you. So So that's why I believe it's hard for us.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll share with you as we take this next call what someone sent. And the person said this is a quick internet search, on what's the difference between it means to decriminalize something and legalizing, right? And all it is, as they're sharing it to me, I'll relate. But I'll do that after we take this next call. All right?
Yeah. But my point is. My point is, I think what the move that they need to make is put not locking them up, not prosecuting them for using it. That's what I believe should be done. And I think that one day some politicians are going to set them free and realize that's the next move that should be made. I think.
I hear you, man. And there's been that attempt at the expungement legislation, and we're now seeing the impact of that 1986 misuse of drugs law. It may have been well intentioned. It may have just been misguided. It may have been, but that urine tests and you refusing it, the consequence of it. I'll try to speak more with others about it, but let's take this next call, all right?
Okay.
Thank you very much, man. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
From one Mr. Brown to the next Mr. Brown. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. And just imagine, right, from East End to West End, callers, let's suppose you over there. But good to hear from you, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. For the record, my name is Quincy Brown. It's a pleasure to call in. Thank you for taking my call. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a guest on Talk today.
It was an honor. Thank you for, making time to come in.
Thank you very much. And I hope, with Radio Cayman's permission, I can perhaps in the future come on again with your permission. But great opportunity. Well, it's been said it was a political campaign in the last election. No weed, no vote. If you can legalize that, this no joke. What about the coke? Truth of the matter is, when you look at jurisdictions, such as Portugal, where everything has been decriminalized and the police officers will not harass you in Portugal if you have a vial of marijuana, acid, speed, crack, cocaine, because it is the citizen's right to use drugs if they so choose to. Now, if you harass a little old lady crossing the street and try and steal her handbag, you're in trouble. If you break into a shop, you're in trouble. But if you so choose to use marijuana or whatever, you are not harassed by police because laws have been amended. That's Portugal. Now, I'm not saying that we should do that, because I said we should do that 10 years ago. So I'm not saying that now. What I am saying is it's a different ball game when you go to His Majesty's northward. And we have a system in place where it is against the law. I am not above the law. If I break the Cayman Islands law, I show remorse and I suffer the consequences, as I have. Now, what is not funny, but what is ironic is the police knows who the drug dealers are. Journalists, we know who the drug dealers are. But the dealers are protected, in my opinion. In my highly esteemed journalistic opinion, drug dealers are protected because it's the low-hanging mangoes that get picked, not the one up on top of the tree top. So in other words, the users get caught and dragged off to court. The users, right? We have a problem. We look around our society and we see begging on the street. Not all is caused by drugs. Some is mental health. Some is people impoverished. But for goodness sake, I've been wearing an ankle monitor for the past, since February the 13th. And if I believe, Mr. Moderator, if the task force, if the police were really interested in catching drug dealers, hear me out. Get Quincy to come along. Here is a recovering drug addict. I no longer use drugs. I no longer use alcohol, all right? I am in recovery. I have a background in writing for the newspaper and in working in radio. Okay. Use me. I'm being monitored as I go around to certain locations paying off debts that I still owe. Do a drug raid, but oh no, because everybody knows, listen to me, We talk about the big C. There's a lot of corruption here in Cayman, I see it every day. You know it, I know it, in all departments, in all sectors. But that's not going to happen. There are drugs all around Georgetown, West Bay, Bordentown, Northside, and Little Cayman is used for the hiding away of kilos when we got too much on Cayman Brac. So when the Brac start running low, we just go over to Little Cayman to get 2 or 3 kilos and bring over. Hello, that's how the running go. So I don't need to call up no name because I am not an informer. If you want information, do your job. What I'm saying, though, the war on drugs, there is no war on drugs. Drugs will always be. We need to teach our young people to stay away. There, bring that program back. Youth Act, bring that program back. Let the young people know, and young people are experimenting at younger ages, according to statistics from the National Drug Council. There is no winning the war on drugs. You know why? Because the biggest drug dealers in this country, and in every country, in my estimated opinion, is pharmacists and medical doctors. Because they're dispensing medication because there's an opioid crisis in this country nobody talks about. Doctor, I need more painkillers. That time you're not going to pain. Talk to me, Sterling. Talk to me.
Well, I'm glad you referenced that last point, right? So that sort of dispensary, and then the youth in particular experimenting, right? So I'm glad you referenced them, and then I want to maybe bring the first point you brought up as sort of the closing one. But the dispensary of prescription drugs, we know in the U.S., presumably, they've called it an epidemic, a crisis, and we're seeing states bringing charges against, certain, entities, as it were, relative to how they prescribe their regulated drugs. But in the Cayman context, are you of the view that the perception is that we're having something similar, maybe not on the same scale, but similar abuse and overuse and crisis as we see in other jurisdictions relative
Absolutely,
to
sir.
Wow.
Now I don't have the statistics for those. For numbers, you'd have to call the NDC and get.
I'm just asking you your perception, right?
My perception, having listened to what people are saying,
yes,
on a smaller scale, because we can't compare ourselves to Chicago,
right,
New York, the bigger places, more people. But we have. Because I listen to civil servants. I listen to those, or I observe those who work in law firms or accountancy firms in the private sector, those who are popping pills with a glass of wine to feel good. We have an opioid or a narcotic problem in Cayman. Yes, we do. No, I'm not saying it's out of hand. I'm not saying to what degree, but listen, before you judge somebody, walk a mile in their shoes. You don't know what a person is actually going through. Yeah. And many persons are abusing prescribed medication, which it's all drugs, Yeah.
Well, we're seeing the change. I mean, there's no question that increasingly we're listening to how people speak and what they say and what they accept, right? And I'm going to be very deliberate and conscious that I stick and at least be able to recognize and sometimes even present my own parlance from the colloquialisms to the intonations. But with that, right, fentanyl, we are hearing just loosely that is increasingly becoming accessible in our communities. Again, your perception.
Incorrect. Okay. Our law enforcement officers have intercepted, and we do not have a loose case of fentanyl. Otherwise, you'd have more dead people.
Okay.
Our corrupt officers of the law make sure that the cocaine is well supplied, but the fentanyl, which is very deadly, that's under control. We had a case of it because fentanyl, even in small amounts, will kill you. It's strong stuff, and certain people are mixing it into the crack. But thankfully, we do not have a large release of fentanyl in the Cayman Islands. Otherwise, people would be dropping dead. That is deadly. However, and I don't say this to be rude or facetious, and I'm not saying it out of being frustrated. What I'm saying is, my friend, in order for any sort of drug trade to exist, we have to have cooperation from government workers as well. That's how drugs can be moved from one island to another. How do I know? Been there, done that. Am I talking too much? I'm not calling any names.
But you might be talking too much, right?
Beg your pardon?
I say, but you might be talking too much, right? There are people who are...
And I'm prepared to take a bullet for it.
I pray that doesn't come to that.
Now, if justice is to prevail, there are persons in Northwood Prison right now who should not be in there. I went to Northwood Prison. I was remanded temporarily in Northwood Prison, so I have a taste of what prison life is. Not good. I don't want to go back. Trust me. And I could very well. I haven't been sentenced yet. I have to go back to court. So I am not out of the clear let. But whatever sentence is handed down to me, I'm going to say, thank you, Lord, I accept. Because I broke Cayman Islands laws. So whether I get probation or whether I get time in His Majesty's Northwood, I will accept it because this too will pass. But I can tell you this, having spent time in His Majesty's Northwood, a very brief time before I got out to go to rehab and then to a halfway house, I was approached by cellmates on how to get it in. So in other words, marijuana and cocaine are both in prison. I told the guy, no, brother, I good. I saw you now they're trying to clean my act up, all right? And who's bringing it in? My inmate told me, check that officer for that, check that officer for that.
Yeah.
I rest my case. I don't want to go back into a facility where it's in my face. Right now I have a choice. I'm making this call outside Radio Cayman, all right? And I could go left, I could go right, I could go north, I could go south. I could get something hard to smoke right now if I want. Catch a bus, go Barton Town. Catch a bus, go West Bay. But I have free choice. I do not want no drugs. Been there, done that. I am making a responsible choice to stay drug-free.
Right.
Now, will my community give me a second chance, or have I dug the hole too deep this time? Let me tell you something. No weed, no vote, smoke, no joke, coke. In my estimation, we should kind of be like Portugal, but I am not in the position to make that.
I want to
at this time.
I want to share this with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 people look like have messaged in. Okay, I think there are 2 more, but I have put my glasses on, and I don't want to take away from it. But more than a half a dozen for sure have messaged in, and I'll just a quick summation. All are encouraging you to stay on the path. All are saying 2 things. One, what you're saying is either the truth or is an accepted and acknowledged perception. I'm paraphrasing, okay?
Yes.
But that's the consensus from all. And I looked at it 4. But I was trying to figure out how to word it. And when I said you, maybe you're saying too much. 4 are cautiously saying, hopefully people do not take what you're saying and hold it against you. And that you're not, identifying anybody. You're not saying anything that people don't generally have that perception already, right?
Well, the last time I called Mr. Orrit Connor's show, which was on April 26th, I called his show. And again, I called no names, but I said what I had to say. And by the time I returned to court, let me tell you, the court had heard I made a page where I was anxious. One has to be cautious. But my background is in broadcast journalism. And if a woman in this country who is leading Cayman's tabloid, sensational news and news that's not even accurate at times with rumor, if she can be allowed, because a judge once told her many years ago, not a magistrate, a judge, well, there is some place for you, but you're not responsible. End of quote. She's not responsible. I am not calling any names.
Right.
But as a Caymanian, as a man who has worked in media, I have a voice, and my voice will not be silenced. I'm not calling any names.
No.
I don't
Can I
have to.
compliment?
I don't have to, because everybody knows.
Right.
Everybody knows what's going on. That's a hypocritical thing.
Right. I want to read this verbatim, right? Because I think this supports what you share. And the reason why I highlight those 4 and I paraphrase it and stressing that I hope, as these 4 have shared, hope they're not going to hold you in what you said against it. So let me read this verbatim. It says, of course, Quincy is correct that there's not a war on controlling illegal drugs in Cayman if people in high positions was not or were not or are not involved. Now, I read that, I guess, almost verbatim up to the last very bit. That's a generally accepted, acknowledged perception, whether it's the reality or not. And you're saying something publicly that some at least perceive, right? And it's a challenge. So hopefully now we will take it on board. The last thing that I wanted to ask, and I'll, if you're okay with it, expressed as a result of a concern that was taken to us some time back. You just talked about experimenting, and the younger ones at young and younger ages are experimenting with different drugs. And the NDC's report supports that, right? So far?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can call NDC and speak
Right.
with their analysts.
Right.
Anyone there. I'm
So
not
here-
calling their names because they all do amazing
No,
job. But
their report.
call up means
Yeah.
NDC. They got the latest stats.
Yeah, their report is without question. They've done a good thing. My question to you is coming from someone else who is of the concern, and it presented in two parts. The first part was the concern, and I think you alluded to it, that people are taking one drug and mixing it with another drug. Cocaine with ganja. I think you said maybe even mixing fentanyl and other stuff with stuff. And as a consequence of that, it could be deadly. It could result in people, dying then and there, right? I'm not trying to alarm people, but I think too many of us are naive or oblivious or believe it if we don't say they don't exist, right? So the question from this person is two parts. One, to what extent do you think that's happening deliberately? Not the person who's using it, doing it for whatever reason, but the person is giving it to somebody as a joke, maybe to hook them, maybe to mess them up, maybe, do you think that's happening in that last part? People are just doing it to see how they can destroy another person's life?
I've been out of the circle for too long now. That means that you're being sober and working a program. I don't know. When I signed off last year, I don't know.
Fair enough. Listen, let me not help you to help me to dig a hole for each other.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. With your permission, sir, because I know you have other callers.
Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. May I end on a very positive note, please?
There you go. Yes.
I would like to thank the staff of Caribbean Haven. I would like to thank the staff of Health Services Authority. I should like to thank the judicial system of this country. I should like to thank the probation department, the counseling center. I should like to thank my sponsor. I should like to thank everyone who is a part of my recovery and rehabilitation. My name is Quincy Brown. I am not here to lambast or shame anybody. I could call names of police officers of the government. I choose not to. That's not what this is about. When I stand in front of a judge does not want to hear which lawyer I was doing a line with or which member of the immigration is. Listen, when Quincy Brown is called, I stand in front of a judge. I'm responsible for me. And I have broken laws of this country of which I'm being held accountable for. And in my opinion, perhaps I'm being held to a higher standard. No exemption. I am not above the law. And law will be carried out. Justice. It is not justice that I beg for because I am being served justice. What I am begging for is mercy. I have learned my lesson. I spent time in prison. Those prison officers did their best to assist me. They talked to me, they counseled me, but prison is not a place I want to be. And I know there are people in there incarcerated right now that shouldn't be there. But I'll end with the positive note by saying, I don't have all the answers and I have no power. Power of authority, power to be a politician, power to be a pastor. But what power I do have is changing me.
Right.
I do not want to drink alcohol. I do not want to smoke crack. I do not want to inject heroin. I want the remainder of my life in the Cayman Islands and the world to be lived clean and sober. I give my urine, and I do apologize for that video sort of challenging civil servants and members of the private sector because I did it sort of out of frustration. Quincy can't get a job because he's been to prison. Quincy can't get a job because he's known as a former drug user. Yet I know that there are members wearing neckties and making a good salary who, for government and private sector, who, if you test their urine right now, the urine would not be clean. But that's besides the point. Who am I to bring that up? It is me that has to face the judge on August 21st. I want to thank you. I want to thank my community for putting up with me. I mean, after all, I have to make the necessary changes, and Cayman has given me many opportunities. I feel as if my opportunities have run out. That's why I'm not getting jobs. But I am starting my business, as you know. I am available. I'm volunteering in the community.
QE Entertainment Services, right?
Pardon me?
QE Entertainment Services?
QB Entertainment.
QB Entertainment. Yep.
And I get calls from England, from Canada. So if I wanted to if needed to do a job in another country, another jurisdiction, the internet allows that to happen. But guess what? I'm excited that season is coming up soon. No, not Christmas season, which that's good too. It's beginning to look a lot like election time. Election time is always a good time to make money.
Yeah. But Quincy, as we listen to you, right, we're mindful that you're intent to be positive. We want to encourage you as best as we can. Do not, as easy as said than done, I recognize. Do not lose hope. We're told that adversity builds character, but sometimes people don't understand how much adversity some people face, and they may be at that point in time, at their breaking point. They may be at that time feeling overwhelmed, right? So you know you as best as you know you. I mean, I don't mean you individually, you collectively, right? So we know ourselves, at least we think we do, or we try to. And as people, we need to be reminded that we have, some support, someone in our corner, someone who's got our back, who's nurturing, who's loving, right? So it's sort of driven from what you said earlier. It's a sobering reminder, no pun intended, that many of us.
I like it.
I know, man. Many of us don't really always have that. So listen, you don't lose, perspective. You don't lose hope. You don't lose faith. All right?
Thank you very much. You've been great. Thank you for accommodating me.
You're most welcome, sir.
We need to keep each other in prayer because a lot of people, you don't know what they're going through,
You don't know, bro. You don't know. But listen, you hold your head high, right?
Head high. Thank you.
And press on as we take the break and return to the calls. Remember, faith without works is dead. And sometimes that person that needs that extra little nudge, extra little support is you. What would you do if you wanted it? If you see another, don't turn your back, man. Helping hand goes a long way. All right, join us after the break. It's going to be more open line.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Work's new jobs and online payment services is officially live. Experience a more user-friendly site with easier navigation and enhanced features. Job seekers can now explore additional features tailored to their needs. Employers can benefit from a streamlined process for managing job posts and applications. Online payments are now a breeze. Discover more at worc.ky or call us at 945-9672.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. We got a call. It's open line. Thank you for sharing. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Mr. Sterling, I'm here again.
Welcome back again, man. If you got time, we can entertain. We can get things happening, man. How are you?
Man, I got to put some things in the proper perspective.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
like a pyramid.
Yeah. Now, listen. I hearing you okay, but there's, I guess, an echo.
A little. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it a little.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not to be revealing or anything like that. Because I don't know. I have no knowledge
Mm-hmm.
of plenty of things I don't have any knowledge of. It's plenty of things,
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way I grew up, because even some people, which I can't say their name, they would say, "Boy, I don't understand how you move, man. You don't make us know nothing." But you know what I realize? It's so many doors that can be opened for you when you're a secret guy.
Yeah.
You keep a secret forever. And you pretend like you don't see. And you got nothing to say. It's just advice. No, I don't know anything about this kind of thing. But when I was growing up, I heard people talk about secret societies and stuff. I'd say I like that. Now, I don't know nothing about it. But I just like that part that says secret.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't move with anybody, Me and nobody moves. Me, because I don't want nobody to know anything about me. And I don't want to know nothing about nobody. If you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I have met many people, and I don't ask them their name. And all that. It is absolutely unnecessary. If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Mr. Sterling, I have found that life can be so wonderful when you move like a phantom. And you don't speak nothing. Be like a dummy. I don't know. I didn't see. I don't know. I just don't know nothing.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, well, it's if I'm hearing you, it's important that we understand whether we're physicians or legal counsel, but sometimes just be able to keep things in confidence, not protecting some illegal activity or promoting something sinister,
No.
Having an air of confidentiality, and that's important. But there is a
and it got nothing to do with me. And now I don't know. Now when we were talking just now about now do you know, Mr. Sterling? It might sound like a like a lie.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know that I don't know what ganja is, or I don't know what cocaine is?
No, it's. And I'm glad that you.
Got to test it. They got to test it first. I got to prove that that's what it is.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I'm glad you shared that because I think there may be a perception in this country of two things. One, and the last caller shared it. Many of us have said, "Oh, everybody knows who's doing what," and that may be, a generally accepted perception.
Well, I don't know.
Right.
No, so not everybody, because I don't know.
And this is it.
And I know if they might say it's something, whatever, it might be a piece of grass.
Right.
Or it could be flour.
But to your point, right? Yeah, to your point, it would be unfortunate if we have a perception of, let's say, widespread corruption, and that could be across the board. It could be even, worse if that perception exists, and then people say, "Oh, well, and then they add to it, and they believe that everybody, is complicit.
But do you know, Mr. Sterling, that that's one word that I don't use?
Mm-hmm.
I don't use the word corruption, In many words I don't use, no, sir.
Okay, but and
but that, yes, I'm not concerned with that. Many things, I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Now, I like the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that. I don't like to get in people's business.
Yeah.
And I don't like to mix like what some foreign people told me. We don't mix.
Yeah.
I don't really know what see people and say hi, hello, and we don't, not even 2 minutes.
Right.
They
Well,
stop for.
yeah. And this is sometimes where, I guess it's today's culture, stay in your lane sort of mentality, right? Not quite sure that I fully understand or subscribe to it, but in saying that, we need to ensure that, and this is maybe where our society needs to have a rethink. What is the cultural ethos when it comes to certain activities? For example, there was a time when, without question, our streets were really clean. People took pride. We didn't litter, to the extent that seemingly is the case now, right? So if again, the society, and I like the fact that you said, you don't use the word corruption, and that can take all forms, and it could be as much a bad action as an inaction that creates a consequence, right? So there's not sometimes what people do is what they may blindly refuse to do, right?
You know what I realized, Mr. Sterling?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I realized?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it family or not, as I was saying a couple days ago, if you different from me,
Mm-hmm.
he stay on his side, and I stay on my side.
Right.
Because whenever, whatever it is, and the butterflies hit the fan, or whatever it is,
Right.
I don't want to know nobody business, and I don't want nobody to know my business.
Yeah. And it's important that we don't, be nose and stick our nose in people's business. But it's also important that we pay attention and we ensure that, good things are the order of the day. We don't turn a blind eye to the bad things, and we don't pray that, without a semblance of active, measures, and expect it to go away. All right, we're going to take the break, but you go ahead and finish your thought.
Mr. Sterling, if you say you're incriminating yourself, and if you say you know about it, that they got having knowledge of this and all these laws and all that, I don't have no knowledge of nothing.
Yeah, my friend.
I do not know what ganja is, and I don't know what cocaine is. And nobody can tell me that it's so.
Right.
I said I don't know, and that's it.
That's it. Well, we're going to take this break, and when I come back, I'll share something else that someone that's measured it.
It could be a piece of grass, or it could be flour. I don't know what it is.
There you go.
And I don't want to know.
All right, my friend.
And I keep moving by myself, like what some people say, that guy don't want away, He want away. He likes to move by himself. Me and them girls, and that's it.
All right, listen. You had lunch, if not, get some, right? And we got chat after. And, I always believe in breaking bread. So if someone's nearby,